Why not let me go? It is a common question that is asked of me. Why don't you and your kind just let us be? Leave us alone once you have discarded us. Why do you have to keep coming back to us? Why apply all that effort in hoovering us when you can go and get somebody new and concentrate on them instead? Those are fair queries, but they fail to understand the dynamic that is at work in respect of why we keep coming back to you. Here are the reasons why. 1. Control. As I have explained previously, the narcissistic relationship lasts until either one of us dies. We need to remind you that you belong to us. We need to exert our rights under the narcissistic covenant, and by hoovering you, this is the most blatant and effective way of doing so. 2. Perspective. You are an extension of us. We attach you to us when we seduce you and suck the fuel from you. We do not truly discard you, but instead there is a temporary cessation before we engage once again and continue to draw fuel from you. Since we do not regard you as a separate and distinct entity, but rather part of our powerful and far-reaching selves, we consider you to always be available. Thus, we keep hoovering you, since in our minds you are part of us and thus within reach. 3. Punishment. In some instances, which is dependent on the type of narcissist you are being punished by, you are punished for your transgressions against us. These transgressions may be numerous, but most often they are to do with the fact that you escaped us, and or you fail to provide us with the necessary fuel when required. In order to demonstrate that we are superior to you, we deem it appropriate to punish you, and thus you will be hoovered through malign follow-up hoovers. 4. Hoover fuel. This is the chief reason why we hoover. Hoover fuel is very potent. It is edifying and invigorating. Why is this? There is every likelihood that when we seek to hoover you post-discard or post-escape, that you try to resist our overtures. This is because you have been devalued and abused. Admittedly, it is not always the case, as some victims want us back regardless. But there are many who are at best reluctant and at worst determined to resist us. If we manage to draw a positive reaction from them, or even a negative one, it reinforces our power over this person and causes the fuel to be even more potent. If we manage to bring about the resumption of the formal relationship, then this is even better. We have emphasized just how much control we have over you, and to have you return, either exhibiting joy, relief, and thanks, the quality of this hoover fuel is most impressive. Even if the victim provides no resistance to our hoover and willingly returns to us, pouring with the positive fuel as we have allowed them back into our arms, the fact that we know we can treat people the way that we do and they will still want us and provide us with fuel results in potent hoover fuel for us as well. Knowing we can still evoke such emotion in people after everything that we have done laces the fuel with a particular power. 5. Investment. You ought to be aware that we have invested our time and energy in you. This may well have been through the preparatory work that was engaged in when we targeted you, working out the relevant traits that you had, which appealed to us, assessing your susceptibility to our seduction hoover, and so forth. It also includes all of the effort that we put into your seduction and the devaluation thereafter. We know you. We know how you think, how you react, how you respond, how you act. We understand your mind. We know your strengths, your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, and your pressure points. We have ensured that you have attached to us, bound to us, and functioning, and therefore this solid and substantial investment in you is not just for an initial period of time. It is done so we can rely on this investment time and time again in the future. We do not want to waste such a significant investment. This should enlighten you as to why it is just not easier to go and seduce somebody else. We have invested much in you, and we want the return from our investment again and again and again. We will, of course, expand effort in securing new investment opportunities, but we are not going to forego previous investments as well. 6. Compassion. Don't get excited. I'm not going to tell you that you can expect it. Quite the opposite. Somebody other than us might decide that you have indeed had enough and move on and leave you alone. However, the fact that we lack compassion and remorse means that we see no reason to leave you alone. Your condition and state of mind are only relevant to us with regard to whether we can draw further fuel from you. We do not care that you are hurting, upset, or that you are in pain. 7. Entitlement. Our significant sense of entitlement means we can do as we please, and naturally, as someone who was once our primary source, you are always going to be the subject of the manifestation of this entitlement by us keep coming back to you. This is, of course, subject to the conditions of the Hoover trigger and whether the Hoover execution criteria are met. 8. Pleading. Do not think that pleading with us for relief, release, and clemency will get you anywhere. Not only will this draw no response because of the lack of compassion, as mentioned earlier, but because you are providing us with fuel, we will want more of it. Therefore, your pleading is something we want to see, something we want to hear, but it will have no effect on us other than to make us want you to continue to plead and beg. Thus, there are several reasons why we will not leave you be and let you move on. We will not grant you the freedom. You have to secure it yourself.